Okay, guys, we're gonna go over our trades for today. Today we traded one stock. We traded MCRB. This stock was pretty crazy. We had a huge move pre-market. Here we can see on the 5-minute chart that it was trading down here a low of 450, and it made a move all the way up to, let's see, 1520. From 450 up to 1520, pulled back to VWAP. Made a move higher up to 1950. There was a clear level of resistance at 1950. Pulled back down to VWAP, rode VWAP. It bounced off of here from VWAP, popped up to 1852, pulled back, and then here it offered another opportunity, a break of this level, which is 1827 for a pop up to 2050. Pre-market high was 2078. So we'll jump into the 1-minute chart so we can see how we traded this one. So I was really tempted to take trades pre-market, but I kind of just held off. I was like, well, let's just kind of wait, and we'll see what it looks like as the market opens. So I was kind of watching it for a gap and go, because gap and go has been working. That setup has been working the past few days, or it worked yesterday. So I was tempted to take it. Yesterday we had a gap and go setup that moved up out of the market, and then it pulled back, then offered an opportunity on this pullback. So potential entry would have been here over 2028. It was trading, it was around this level whenever it opened. So a break of 2030 would have been an entry. It did kind of dip down to right under 19, and then it did. There was a lot of buyers that came in, and they bought it up all the way up to 2189. So from 20 up to 2189, it pretty much it moved in a matter of milliseconds from $20 up to 2150, and then 2180, and then it kind of just failed, and it hit a low of 1908 on this candle. It did offer a bounce from 1908 back up to 20. I did not take that trade. I was a little bit slow on it. And then here we got this break of 1908, and for a flush down to 1834. So from 22 down to 18. Pretty big range. So we'll jump into so we can see here that it was just chopping around here. This stock was very tricky. Here we can see that we had a level here, a break of 2029. So it it almost tapped this level 2029. It hit a high of 2020. It pulled back, micro pullback. A break of that level would have been an entry for a move up to 2122, halted going up. On the resumption, it squeezed up to 2241. So definitely opportunities there. I did not take the trade because the level 2 was very tricky. It was just bouncing around, very hard to predict. If you were green on this stock, give yourself a pat on the back. This stock was very hard, difficult to trade. Although it seems clean here, it was definitely not clean. Here we can see that it moved from 20 all the way up to $33. You know, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 halts going up. Finally, on this halt going up, it turned around, reversed. We can see here we had a shooting star doji, or yeah, shooting star doji, a high of 33. The way I ended up getting in this one, I almost didn't time it right. I mean, I got in basically at the very top and sold at the very top. Very risky. I got in here out of this halt resumption. It halted at 3108. It resumed at 3135. So I saw green buying coming in. So I jumped in, small share size, jumped in around 3160, sold up here at 33 at the very high, very top of that candle, which is pretty impressive but very risky. I mean, of course, I do not mean to buy the very top of the stock. Usually, you know, you want to buy down at the low and kind of just at the low and just, if possible, sit at the very top. But in this case, I bought very high and sold very high. So nice trade there from 3160 up to 33. It did turn around pretty fast, and by that time I was already out. It halted going down at 28.22. So whenever we get that many halts going up, it's most likely that we're gonna get a halt going down. The first one is gonna be usually a 10-minute halt, and that's what this one was, a 10-minute halt. It was very extended going up, 10-minute halt going down. So it halted at 28.22 going down. I jumped in out of the halt resumption for a flush. I was watching for a flush. I knew that 28.22 was a halt going down. I knew that it came down hard, so most likely we're going to get a pretty low resumption, and we did. We opened at 26.29, and I got filled around that level, around 26.30, and sold up here at 26.80, 26.90, right under $27, which was pretty nice, a pretty nice trade. I did leave some money on the table. It did continue to go up high up to 27.74. It's just one of those that you just don't know how much. It could have easily came all the way back up, and it could have easily just failed. So it was a quick trade in and out. Now here you can see if I would have held, well, if I would have held, I would have been back break even and even red on my position, because it did pop up on this candle. It came back down and hit a low of 25.52, so almost 80 cents from my entry. So I'm satisfied the way I traded it. We dropped 25.55, and then here it was a doji, so here we kind of just shot past that level, halted going up at 29.55. Again, this stock was very unpredictable, very tricky. Halted going up at 29.55. It resumed at $29, which was 55 cents lower than where it halted going up. And then here it squeezed up and up to 30, and then it pulled back down. It was just kind of chopping up here around this level. 29 was a level of resistance. I ended up trading this another time here for another flush going down. So I knew that 29 was a level of resistance. I was watching for a flush and then a possible tap of this high. Here we can see that it broke this support of 27.30, came down to 26.50. I jumped in right under 27. I thought that once it hit 27, it was going to find support there and bounce back up to 27.50, 28, and possibly keep going back up on the next candle to make a new high. That's not what happened. It broke 27, and I saw that it wasn't breaking, so I got out pretty much immediately. It was a few seconds later. It was a small loss. So that was that. And then on the next trade, it continued to go lower. 26.50 was a low support of this candle. It flushed hard on that one, 26.50. And I thought that I had seen support at 25.50, so I jumped in on the break of 25.50. It flushed a whole dollar down to 24.50, 24.70, and actually it was 24.70, and it almost halted going down on me. So I was trying to get out my position. I sold right above the halt level, so I dodged the bullet there, but it was still a pretty bad trade from 25.40, actually for 25.30 down to 24.70. So it was a pretty nice size loss trade, except it was small share size, so that's the only thing that helped me out. uh, and here you can see that it halted going down. It did resume lower at 24 or 23.67. It ended up bouncing back up, and let's see what it did. Here it just kind of failed again. But again, this stock was very tricky. It was making moves at times where it would move a dollar in a single move, like in a matter of milliseconds. So it was very hard to predict. You couldn't really see, okay, well, you couldn't really say, okay, there's some green buying here, so we're gonna get a move up. No, it was like we we have some green buying, and then we immediately get a flush down, and then come back up, squeeze up, and they'll come down, show a lot of weakness here, a lot of weakness, and then boom, it'll explode back up a whole dollar 50 per share. So it was very unpredictable. I would say it was a little bit more predictable at the very beginning of the move, but towards around all this mess, it was just hard. It was difficult to trade. Big, some big buyers and big sellers were trading this stock. So that's one thing to kind of keep an eye on. We have seen pre-market moves these past few days. We have seen gap and go setups as well. So over 2028, gap and go is a break of that. We break that high and get a squeeze up to 2078 and then move higher. That's what a gap and go is. So we need to keep an eye on that kind of trade. And then for a flush out of after that move, a flush down, potential entry on the move down, on the flush, and then sell on the bounce. So that's it. That's it for today. Hopefully you guys did pretty good on this stock if you traded it. All right, bye.